Today, we're going to talk about T Stuckey, infamous Detroit legend from Puritan Avenue, yay. I believe also Proof was his cousin and was involved in one of his earlier cases that he had beat. We'll get into that in part two. I know some people that know Proof, so before I even speak on him, I would love to go talk to those people and see how they feel about it. But nevertheless, we're talking about Stuckey, Puritan, Detroit legend, Motor City Records owner, entrepreneur, businessman who did a lot of great things for people. But he was indicted for murder, cocaine conspiracy, firearms, felony in possession, so on and so forth. And this goes back to 2006, I believe, or 2005. And they used some of his rap lyrics from those years. Excuse me, not 2005, 95, 96. And they used some of his rap lyrics from then now. So using lyrics is not new. A lot of people think it's new, but it is not new. But we're going to read a part of Stuckey's indictment, okay? The indictment at the center of Stuckey's trial was the murder of Ricardo Slick Darbins. We're just going to use Slick or Darbins, okay? A former Detroit police officer. He was a former Detroit police officer. The government argued that Stuckey murdered Darbins in an attempt to keep Darbins from cooperating with federal authorities. The events leading up to the murder are as follows. Darbins had been indicted by a federal grand jury for cocaine trafficking offenses in June of '96 after an FBI wiretap. On August 3rd, Darbins shot at but missed an informant in a record store. Stephen Felder, a drug dealer and cooperating witness for the government, testified that he overheard and upset Stuckey later tell another woman and another man that Darbins was a fake for not having shot the informant. Felder testified that Stuckey said he was waiting in Darbins' pickup truck at the time of Darbins' attempted shooting of the informant on August 5th, 96. A complaint and warrant charged Darbins with attempting to kill a confidential informant who assisted the FBI in the investigation. Felder also testified that on August 6, 96, he witnessed Stuckey murder Darbins. Stuckey and Darbins arrived at 385 Montgomery, a house in Detroit where Felder and Verdell Morey lived. As Felder and Darbins sat in a bedroom watching television, and Darbins also talked on a cordless phone, Felder heard the front door slam, then saw Stuckey shoot Darbins 7 times, then stand over Darbins and fire 4 more shots. Felder saw Stuckey bend over Darbins' body, kiss him on his cheek or nose, tell him that he loved him and he was going to take care of his family, but he talked too much and take Darbins' watch and wallet. Felder stated that the gun was a .40 caliber semi-automatic. But let me speak on that real quick. From what I know and from what I hear from the other legends that existed around that time, Stuckey had a lot of money before and after the feds, before and after indictments. He had a lot of moolah. So at that time, it doesn't seem like he would do something like that and then kiss him on the cheek and face like this is a mafia movie, man. Don't that sound crazy? But hey, look, whatever makes the prosecutors sound good, that's what they want you to say, okay? That's crazy, right? Felder went next door, told Murray what happened, and the two of them then returned to the house. Now, if he saw this guy do this, right, and he saw him kill him, and he's trying to take out witnesses so he wouldn't go to prison, why would he leave him alive? Okay, that don't make no sense, okay? Stuckey picked up shell casings from the gun that were on the floor, and Felder and Morey wrapped Darbins' body in plastic blankets and sheets. Stuckey said that he was going to call a cleanup man. Another movie line, okay? Oh my God! And Dennis Sifford later arrived with rope, gloves, and a roll of plastic. The 4 of them wrapped Darbins' body in plastic, tied it up with rope, and placed the body in the trunk of the car that Sifford arrived in, a Caprice Classic that belonged to Stuckey. Stuckey, Felder, Sifford, and Morey then drove in 2 separate cars to an alley where they dumped Darbins' body. Darbins' body was discovered on the morning of August 7th. A autopsy revealed that Darbins, who at the time of the autopsy was known to police only as unknown male number 107, was shot between 7 and 15 times, including 4 times in the head, each of the wounds through and through. The bullet entered and exited the body, which indicated that a large caliber gun was used. Stuckey stipulated that all entry wounds were from the front. One .38 caliber bullet was recovered from Darvin's body and came from a pre-existing wound. Okay, I don't think a 38 go through the skull, not, but who knows. In November 2000, FBI agents searched the house where Felder and Stuckey killed Darvins. After Felder cooperated with the FBI agents removed carpeting, floor, bloods, and bullet slugs recovered from the floor and wall. Agents also recovered blood stains. Two .40 caliber bullets were lodged in the floorboards. A third bullet was found beneath the floorboards, and a .38 caliber bullet was found in the wall. DNA from the blood on carpeting that the FBI agents removed matched Darvin's DNA and fibers found on the shoelace with Darvin's body carpet fibers from the house. Okay, matched carpet fibers from the house. So I guess it was two guns used, maybe two shooters. Maybe somebody assisted him and then, blamed it all on him, or maybe it was two other people, then they blamed it on the big drug dealer that everybody wanted. But this a cleanup, man, come on, man. This is some James Bond movie detective mafia stuff to call a cleanup man. Guys is hidden and they leaving that house. And if they dare to eliminate witnesses, don't you think they're going to get all witnesses, man? This is just simple common stuff, man. Now, the government also introduced evidence in the form of handwritten rap lyrics composed by Stuckey, which the government argued were akin to a confession. I expose those who knows, fill the bodies with holes, wrap them up in blanket, dump their bodies on the road. The lyrics also repeatedly referred to killing and retaliating against snitches. Wow. Willie Sinai Franklin, a cooperated witness for the government and former Detroit drug dealer, testified extensively about Stuckey's involvement in conspiracy to distribute cocaine base. Stephen Felder also testified about Stuckey's involvement with the conspiracy. Wow. Conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. The government presented evidence that Stuckey purchased cars and real estate with the proceeds he made from selling cocaine in order to conceal the source of his income. Felder testified. Franklin testified that he gave Stuckey 2 kilograms of cocaine in 93 and 94. Franklin testified that Stuckey was an enforcer in a gang known as the Puritan Ave Boys, the PAs, which Franklin testified had a reputation for drug trafficking and violence. Franklin testified that he once witnessed Stuckey beat with an Uzi an individual who allegedly had information about 18 missing kilograms of cocaine belonged to associates of Stuckey. Franklin testified that Stuckey and Darvins were in the cocaine business together. Franklin also testified about a recorded phone call between Franklin and another individual, Marty Wright, during which Wright told Franklin about Stuckey's cooking powder cocaine into crack. Now, Felder testified that Stuckey owned and drove 8 different cars. Franklin testified that in his experience, cocaine dealers own vehicles, registers, and other names to avoid law enforcement. Now, Frank Scartozzi, a special agent with the IRS Criminal Division, testified about numerous financial transactions made by Stuckey that constituted proof of conspiracy to launder money. Jack Harvey, an agent with the DEA, testified about items seized from the Georgia apartment where Stuckey was arrested, including over 13,000 in U.S. currency, 169,000 in jewelry, and 20,000 in crocodile coats and hats. Bart Bradley, a former police officer, testified that May 15, 96, Stuckey reported a break-in into his home in Atlanta. Bradley testified that Stuckey told him the items included were fur coats, 18 pair of alligator shoes between $500 and $800 per pair, and 2 pairs of cowboy boots. Stuckey was charged and convicted of laundering financial instruments in connection with Stuckey's attempt to purchase a car. Dwight Smith, an NFL football player who once scored 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, testified that in 2002, Stuckey gave him $40,000 in cash to purchase a Mercedes-Benz. Smith testified that he purchased a cashier's check with the cash and then used the check to purchase a car. Smith then delivered the car to Stuckey, who thereafter retained possession of the car. Witness tampering. Stuckey was charged with and convicted of witness tampering for threats that he made to Felder while Felder was being held in custody. Felder testified that Stuckey showed up at the jail and threatened to kill Felder's family if Stuckey was convicted of murdering Darbenz. Felder's story was partly corroborated by the testimony of another security officer who was working at the jail. Witnesses Felder demeanor changed dramatically after Stuckey met with Felder and heard Felder say that Stuckey threatened him and his family. That's crazy. I never knew that about Dwight Smith. And I never knew how big they claim that this guy T Stuckey was. Very, very, very instrumental to the Detroit culture and the style. You could see in this, he had all types of gators, fur coats, all this, and that. He was getting hell of money. And he had a pretty successful rap career, up and coming. He was Blade Icewood before Blade Icewood. But he was really, 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 really with the gangster rap, man. Tell me what y'all think about this story and Dwight Smith telling on that man. Peace and blessings be upon y'all, man. Big 5.